Hi everyone, it's Lindsay. We're here to practice some yoga today. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like there are just really hard days, and I feel like I've been having a lot of those lately. So I designed this class for opening our hearts on hard days. Some days, like this week, I have wanted to maybe cry, maybe scream a little bit, maybe lay down on the floor in my office and wish that the hard things would go away. That's not always how it works. Usually it doesn't. But I hope that this class you will be able to open up your heart and find the light or love or whatever it is that you need to be able to make it through whatever hard time you're going through. So today you're going to need, we're going to start with either a block or a blanket, maybe even a towel, something that you can roll up and place behind your back. So go ahead and grab that and I'll meet you on the mat. So here we are. I've got my pile of things over here. If you are wanting to use a block, if that's what you have with you today, you want to align it so that it is around your thoracic spine. So it is going to be from basically your rib cage. If you have a blanket or a towel or something else like that, you're going to want to position it similarly. Here's my blanket that I use if I'm doing yoga. Nothing fancy. It's just a felt blanket. I'm going to roll it up nice and tight, and then I'm going to put the seam side down on the ground to hold it so it stays there. And what you're going to do is either on your block or your blanket, or maybe you have a bolster you could be up on, you're going to go ahead and lay down with the block or blanket rolled up along your spine so you're centered on it. And maybe you start with your feet close to your hips. I invite you to go ahead and extend your legs, and then let your arms and shoulders roll open. And so we're starting in a supported fish pose. And if you don't have anything, a blanket or a block, if you don't have any of that handy, no big deal. You can just be lying on the ground. Having something underneath us like this will help us to be able to begin to gently open up our heart space. So as you're laying here, you might begin to notice as you breathe deeply and begin to relax that your shoulders roll open, that there's more space along your collarbones, along your chest. Maybe your ribs even feel open a little bit more. And one of the best things when we are feeling stressed on hard days is to be able to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. And that is our rest and digest state. Oftentimes when we are struggling and going through hard times, we are stressed, and we don't like that. Daily life now can feel like we're always ramped up and stressed, going from one thing to the next. And so today I invite you to breathe deeply and to experience the effect that the deep breath, your diaphragm moves up and down as we breathe deeply, and it stimulates our vagus nerve. And our vagus nerve is what turns on our parasympathetic nervous system. And that's why deep breathing is so beneficial to be able to help us get into a more calm and relaxed state. And so I hope you are continuing to breathe and lengthening each breath, lengthening each inhale and each exhale. And I hope that you are breathing through your nose. And if you heard any of that noise that I just did, that was roommates upstairs walking. We're not always lucky to be in a perfectly calm and quiet environment. when you're ready, I invite you to bring your feet in a little bit closer to your bum and then gently roll off to one side and up off of whatever prop it is that you are using. So I'm off my handy blanket. We're going to turn over and we're going to start in child's pose now. So we're going to open our knees to about mat width apart, and we're going to bring our big toes to touch. And then we're going to sit back on our heels. And you have the option right now, if you have a blanket that you used, to maybe keep it in front of you and bring it a little bit closer. If you have a block, go ahead and move that off to the side. And we're going to walk our hands out in front of us. And go ahead, if you have your blanket and you want to use it, go ahead and position it so it is going to be supporting your chest. And here as we extend into child's pose, we want to be reaching our hips back to our heels. Maybe our head gently rests onto the mat, our forehead, and we're reaching our arms and stretching them away from us, from our body. And as your forehead is touching the ground, I invite you to gently rock your forehead side to side to stimulate that third eye center and welcome in the knowledge that you might need to get through whatever hard time it is that you're in. And when you're ready, I invite you to move both arms and hands off to the left side of your mat. So we have a side stretch in the right side of our body. Take those big breaths in, stretching the side of your ribs and your shoulder. And then go ahead and walk your hands off to the other side, to the right side of your mat. And reach those arms nice and long. Reach your hips back to your heels. Feel that side stretch through the left side of your body, your left ribs, your left shoulder. Continuing to breathe in and out through your nose. And go ahead and come on back towards center. If you left anything on your mat, your blanket, move that off to the side. And we're going to bring our knees in under our hips. So we're going to be here we're going to go into a puppy pose position. And so we're going to keep our feet flat, or tops of our feet down on the ground. We are going to work to keep our hips over our heels. And puppy pose is another heart opener and shoulder stretch. And so it's more intense than what we were doing in child's pose. And so if this doesn't feel great for you, don't go very far. So work your way out, reaching your arms out in front of you, maybe about mat width apart. And keeping your hips high, you're going to gently lower your chest down to the floor, or reach it as far as you can. My chest doesn't touch, and that's totally cool. Maybe you rest your head on the floor, your forehead, or your chin, whatever you rest on the floor if you're able to. Just make sure it doesn't make your neck hurt. And since this is more intense, we're not going to stay long. We're going to come back up out of it. And I'm going to turn towards you, but we're going to keep we're going to be on our knees and standing up tall on our knees, if that's a thing. We're going to keep our knees under our hips, and we're going to start by taking our left leg off to the side. This is a little bit of a modified gate pose. And so keeping your left leg off to the side, we're going to start with our right arm up and our left arm on our left leg. And what we're going to do is we're going to sweep our arms back and around, and we're going to reach our right hand back to our right foot. If you can't reach, that's not a big deal. We're pushing our hips forward, and then we're going to swing using momentum, using our arms to come back up nice and tall. And then we're going to inhale, reach back, hips forward. Inhale, using those arms to come back forward. One more. Exhale, reaching back to your right foot. Exhale, coming up nice and tall. All right, that's getting some movement going, stretching out the front of our body a little bit, and a little bit of a prep pose for one of the final poses that we'll do in class today. So now we're gonna switch sides. Go ahead and bring your right leg out to the side. And if that didn't feel good for you or you didn't like it, you can do some more side stretching because we're stretching our sides, stretching the front of our body. So we're gonna start with right hand on right leg, left arm up high, and we're gonna sweep our arms in front and behind and reach our left arm back towards our left leg. Exhale, swinging our arms forward, coming up tall. Inhale, sweeping back and around. Exhale, coming forward. And we're gonna do one more. Inhale as we reach back and around, pressing hips forward. And inhale, come on up. Nice job, guys. So we will move into our first downward facing dog of the day. So go ahead and place your hands on the floor, spread those fingers nice and wide, tuck those toes under, and press your hips up and back. Go ahead and pedal out your feet and heels if you'd like. As we keep those hips high, we're able to increase the length of our hamstrings, which is our goal here. You can have your knees bent a lot. And go ahead and press through the first knuckles of your hand and your palm and pressing through your shoulders. Nice job, guys. Go ahead and walk your feet towards the front of your mat. We're not going to stay here. We're going to gently roll up to standing, and we're going to find ourselves in Tadasana for a few breaths. So remember, in Tadasana, you can either have your toes touching and your heels slightly apart, or you might have your feet hip width apart, whichever is comfortable for you. We're here. Activate the muscles in your body. Feel them active, not squeezing or flexing, but they're turned on and active. Lengthen the back of your neck. You might tuck your chin slightly to do that. Your sternum is lifted towards the sky, and the top of your head is reaching towards the ceiling. Deep breaths here. As you breathe, find that balance in the triangular base of your feet. We're going to need it later. And on your next inhale, we're going to reach our arms high, tall to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Bend those knees a ton. Bend them, bend them. Get that belly, your thighs, belly to thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Go ahead and keep those knees nice and bent. We're going to start with our hands on our thighs, shoulders away from our ears, continuing to breathe here. On your next exhale, forward fold, planting your hands on the ground and stepping your feet back. I'm going to drop my knees right away in my plank position to start today. And on your next exhale, I'm going to lower all the way down to the floor. And we're going to do one low cobra. We'll inhale using the strength in our back to lift our chest up off the floor. Elbows are squeezing towards one another. Tops of our feet are pressing into the floor. Exhale, lower. Nice job. Tuck those toes back under. Press up through your plank and push back to downward facing dog. A nice full breath here. Maybe you pedal those heels a little bit more. Maybe you found stillness. Inhale, step and walk your feet up to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling high, reaching our arms high to the sky. And exhale, cactus the arms. When we cactus our arms, I want you to think about bringing your shoulder blades together and your elbows coming back behind you. So you're squeezing everything down. And that's opening the front side of our chest. Remember, we're opening our hearts today. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, hands to heart. We're gonna do one more nice and slow, one more sun salutation like that, and then we'll speed up a little. Inhale, maybe you bend those legs, reaching your arms high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe your knees are still bent a lot. Maybe you've straightened them a little bit, continuing to breathe. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe this time your hands are on your shins. Maybe they're still on your thighs, but we're using the strength in our hamstrings and glutes and back to hold this position. Exhale, fold, hands to the ground, stepping our feet back to plank. Maybe you're on your toes, maybe you're on your knees. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift to cobra. Maybe you lift a little higher. Exhale, lower. And inhale, pressing up and pushing back to downward facing dog. Nice job, guys. Inhale, walk those feet up to the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up nice and tall. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, reach tall. And exhale, hands to heart. Nice job. We're gonna speed up breath to movement now. Here we go. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step your feet back to plank, your version. Exhale, lower down, maybe to the floor, maybe to chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, pushing up and back to downward facing dog. Full breath here. Inhale, walk your feet on up to the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise high, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reaching up, tall mountain. Last one, guys. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You're doing a good job. Exhale, fold. One more, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lower, halfway or all the way down. Inhale, shining your heart forward, shoulders away from your ears. And exhale, downward facing dog. Nice job. Inhale, walk your feet on up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise high, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. And exhale, hands to heart. Oh yeah, maybe we shake it out, roll it out a little bit. We're not gonna do anything fancy here. We're gonna work our way back to down dog. So just go ahead and step back. Get your hands down on the floor and set up in your downward facing dog. We're gonna have two parts today to our flow. We're gonna get going with the first part. So on your next inhale, lift your right leg high to three-legged dog, keeping your hips level. Exhale, bringing your thigh to your chest. Step your foot forward in between your hands. We're going to inhale, spinning up to warrior two. Remember, in warrior two, we want to keep our knees over our toes. Our legs are active and engaged. We're pressing through the outer edge of our back foot, so of our left foot right now. Inhale, reverse warrior, reaching up and back. Exhale, side angle, right elbow to right knee, reaching your left arm high to the sky. Inhale, reverse warrior, legs stay in the same position. Exhale, side angle, right elbow, right thigh. And this time maybe we reach our left arm all the way up over in front of us, creating a nice long line from our toes to our fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior. And one more time, side angle. If you have a block, maybe you use that this time. As we come to extended side angle, you can reach your hand to the block to bring the floor up to you, or if you're able, you can reach your hand gently down to the floor. Inhale, come on up to 5-pointed star. We're going to have our toes pointed out in a 45-degree angle. Arms are up, palms are down. All right. We're going to exhale, bringing our hands to our heart, and we're going to sink down into a squat. So prayer squat or horse pose, this is also called. Here we want to make sure our knees are reaching back behind us. So we don't want our knees to cave in forward. We want to be pressing our legs open and our knees back. We're going to inhale, scoop our arms down and up, straightening our legs. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale, scoop the arms down and up and around. Exhale, squat. One more. Inhale, scoop the arms. Exhale, squat. Nice job, guys. We're going to go ahead and inhale, coming to stand. Exhale, hands to your hips. We're going to adjust our feet so that now our heels are behind our toes and we're on like wide railroad tracks. We're going to keep our hands on our hip this first time. You're going to inhale, puffing your chest nice and big. Exhale, forward fold. You can keep your hands on your hip as long as you can, or you can reach your hands down to the ground to help support you. We're going to hang here for a few breaths, and I want you to think about activating your quads, turning them on just a little bit, releasing your hamstrings as you hang here. Let the tension go in your shoulders. You can play with hand positions. Maybe they're under your shoulders. Maybe you like reaching towards your ankles. Wherever that feels good for you. Wherever you are, on your next inhale, come on up to halfway lift. Fingertips are touching the ground lightly. Exhale here. Inhale, come on all the way back up, hands to our hips. Nice job, guys. And from here, we're just going to turn our feet back towards the front of our mat and bring our hands down to the ground. And we're going to vinyasa, or maybe you just go to downward dog. So we'll inhale in our plank, exhale, lower all the way down or halfway to chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Nice job. Love working the legs, love flowing. On to your next inhale, lift that left leg nice and high, three-legged dog. Exhale, round your back, bring your knee towards your chest and step your left foot forward. We're going to circle our arms up to warrior two. Adjust your feet so your stance feels comfortable for you. Bending that left leg, active right leg, pressure through the pinky toe of our right foot as we're here in warrior two. You know where we're going. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle, left elbow, left knee, reaching that left arm up. And we're not putting pressure through our elbow and knee. We're not dropping. We're just kind of resting it there, nice and easy. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle, left elbow, left knee, reaching that right arm, maybe this time up and over, creating a nice long line through the entire left side of our body. Inhale, reverse warrior. If you need that block, you can have it nearby. Exhale, side angle. If you need that block, you can have it on the inside of your foot and use that to reach the ground. We're not dumping into that hand, but just ever so lightly touching the block. Inhale, come on up to 5-pointed star. I'm going to move my block out of the way. 5-pointed star, we have our feet wide, toes pointed out at 45-degree angles, palms are down. Exhale, prayer squat. We're going to hold here for a moment. Remember to push those hips hips. Knees are reaching back towards our hips. Don't let those knees cave in. Exhale, scoop the arms down. Ooh, inhaling up. Wrong word. Exhale, hands to heart. Squat. Inhale, scoop the arms up and down. Straighten the legs. Inhale, exhale, squat. Oh my gosh, I'm getting those so messed up. Inhale, reach the arms up. One more. Exhale, squat, hands to heart. And inhale, up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Adjust your feet for our wide-legged forward fold. Railroad track feet now. And I'm going to invite you, we're going to do a forward fold with chest expansion. So you're going to interlace your hands or grip your hands however you can and press them down to the floor. If this is a good enough stretch for you, cool. Keep your hands on your back as we forward fold. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, puffing our chest, exhale, forward fold, and maybe, if it feels good, you're going to bring your arms up overhead and let them hang and let gravity take your arms a little bit closer to the ground. It's okay if you have your knees bent a little bit. In fact, I would recommend that. Try to activate those quads. Stretch those hamstrings. All right, we're going to halfway lift. Maybe you release your arms, bring them back down. Exhale here. Inhale, standing all the way back up. And we're going to twist our feet back to the front of our mat. Reach our arms down, and we're going to vinyasa. Or go straight to down dog if you'd like. Exhale, lower all the way or to chaturanga. Inhale to tall cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remember, those knees can be bent as much or as little as you need. Okay, that was part one. We're going to move on to part two. So exciting. Are you ready? We're going to try something new today. It's going to be great. Okay, inhale, right leg high. Exhale. Step your foot a little bit behind your hands. We want a little bit shorter stance. We're going to prepare for warrior one. So go ahead and spin your left heel down and inhale, come up to stand. We have our right leg bent in a lunge-ish position, and we have our left leg straight, and we want to be having our pressure through the outside edge of our toe. We like that when we're in a warrior position. The goal here, or the intention, is to try to square your hips to the front of your mat. That helps. For me, I've got some tight hip flexors. That really stretches my hip flexors for me. So I kind of like this position, these warrior one legs. If you'd like, you can keep your hands on your hips or inhale, bringing your arms up, pinkies spiraling in, shoulders away from your ears. Tighten up that belly, and we're here in warrior one. On your next exhale, lower your arms behind your back. Clasp them however you are able. You have options like we did when we did our chest expansion and forward fold. We're preparing for humble warrior. So keep those hands clasped if you're able, and puff that chest up on your inhale. Exhale, forward fold, right shoulder to right knee. Maybe your arms lift up, maybe they stay on your low back. This is a balance challenge for me. I'm wobbling. So really use that triangular base of your feet, spread through all your toes, active muscles in your legs to hold your balance. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release the arms. Now we're going to go into standing splits. We're going to reach our hands down to the ground and pop our left foot up off the ground. You'll notice my legs don't look like they're split, and that's cool. If this doesn't feel good for you, you can have both feet down together in forward fold. But if you are attempting half splits or standing splits as I am, You want to think about keeping your left toes down to the ground and reaching to the sky with your left heel. We are strengthening and stretching our right leg, right hamstring that's on the ground. And then as we lift our left leg up, heel to the sky, we're really strengthening. I just said it wrong again. I love it. Strengthening our glutes and hamstrings. Go ahead and reach all the way back, left foot down. So we're in a lunge position. And reach your arms up to high lunge. Guys, I almost forgot what we were doing there. That was great. That was a good pause. So now we're here, high lunge. Exhale, sweep the arms back behind you, airplane lunge as your belly comes towards your thigh. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, airplane lunge. We're gonna do one more. Inhale to high lunge. My right leg is burning. Exhale, airplane lunge. Squeeze those shoulders together and bring those hands down to the ground. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Vinyasa if you'd like. Exhale, lower to the floor or to chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath. Nice job, guys. All right, other side. Inhale, reach your left leg high. Exhale, knee towards your belly. A little bit of a shorter stance. Spin that right heel down and inhale to stand. And here we are in warrior one legs. My right hip flexors are particularly tight. So this is an even better stretch for me on this side. All right, so we're keeping our legs active. Cool. Right leg active, pressing through the outer side of our pinky toes of our foot. Belly's engaged here. If you'd like to reach your arms up with me, warrior one, pinky spiraling in, shoulders away from the ears. Active legs, don't forget. We love it. Exhale, bringing the arms down behind your back. Maybe you reverse the clasp of your hand this time. Inhale, puff your chest. Push your hands down towards the ground. Exhale, come forward. Left elbow, left knee. Maybe your arms come up. Here I feel the balance. Think about squaring those hips if you can. It's the intention. It helps activate the legs. Use all your toes for balance in your left foot. I know I need to. Maybe you let your head hang heavy here as you balance. Inhale. Come on back up. Release the arms. Here we go for standing splits. Reach the arms forward to the ground. Pop the right leg up behind you. Continuing to breathe in and out through your nose. Remember, if standing splits doesn't feel great, you can hang here and forward fold. If you're with me in standing splits, reach the heel, your right heel, up towards the sky. Right toes pointed down to the ground. This is a great place to find effort and ease as we stretch and strengthen our hamstrings and our glutes. Hang here for just a little bit longer. You can do it. And go ahead and step all the way back to our low lunge. Inhale to high lunge, bringing your arms up towards the sky, pinky spiraling in. Exhale, airplane lunge, belly comes towards the thigh. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, airplane lunge, squeeze those shoulder blades together. One more. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, airplane lunge. And release the hands to the ground. Vinyasa if you'd like. Inhale and plank. Exhale as you lower. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right on, guys. Right on. Okay, we're gonna roll to plank. We're gonna do a couple sets of plank and some back strengthening. We love working our core. So we're gonna do about 10-second plank holds, and this is still counting for our first one while I talk. Keep those belly towards your spine, shoulder blades pushing away around your rib cage, and squeezing your glutes and your quads, and release, lower to the ground, all the way down. Woo. Okay. First back exercise. We're going to keep our legs straight, top of the feet towards the ground, and we're going to reach our arms out straight in front of us. And on our next inhale, we're going to lift and hold. If this doesn't feel great for you, you can lift just your legs or just your arms, or you can lift both at one time. We want to remember to keep the back of our neck nice and long and not crank our head back. So keep that back of the neck nice and long. Keep squeezing and release. Yeah. Getting stronger. Undoing all of the sitting that I did today. All right. Back up to plank. You might be on your knees. You might go to your knees at any time, and that's totally fine. Holding for 10 seconds here. You got it. Your elbow pits, I like to call them elbow pits. Try to face them towards the front of your mat. As we hold here, tighten up the belly. We're building strength through our entire body. Yeah. Okay, I think that was about 10 seconds. I honestly wasn't counting. So let's lower. I'll try to count next time. If you have any props in the way, move them out of the way. We're going to have our arms in capital T position, and our legs are going to be about mat width, maybe a little bit wider. On your next inhale, lift the arms, the chest, the feet, the legs. Lengthen the back of your neck. Hold. You know how in some of the action movies when they're like in the safe area and they're trying to steal something and they're hanging from those cables from the ceiling? I feel like sometimes they have to like freeze frame in this position while someone is in the safe when they're trying to steal the thing. Sometimes I'm not good at stories, so I don't know if that came out right. Okay, lower. Hey, one more time, guys. We're going to do plank. One more time. All right, here we go. You got this. Get those hands positioned, shoulder width apart, and lift off. You got this. You got this. Keep pulling that belly into your spine. We've got a hollow body position here, if you're familiar with that. We've got our hips tucked under a little bit, shortening the distance between our ribs and our hips, tightening those legs. We love planks. Yeah. Maybe you don't. You will. The more we do them, the more you'll love them. All right, lower down. Woo. Good job. Okay, last back strengthening. Here we go. Arms, palms on the palms up. Palms up. All right, here we go. Ready? Inhale, lift off. Arms by the side of our body. Fingers reaching towards our feet. Long neck. I say that so I remember too. We always need performance cues. It helps us to get in the right position and to become better in the correct position. Better is a very generic term, but I think you know what I mean. Improve, get stronger in the correct position and alignment. It's great. Okay, release. Whew. All right. Guys, you're going to come up onto your knees. We did all of that to make this last pose better and easier, hopefully. Okay. So we're going to do camel pose. So remember at the beginning of class, we practiced those sweeping gate poses and we were reaching back, and maybe that felt awful for you. Maybe it felt great. I'm going to show you the 2 different ways to get into this camel position, and then you can try them out with me and then pick one that you like and try that. So the first way to enter is not my personal favorite, but it might be yours. We're going to keep our toes tucked because that shortens the distance that we need to reach. And so I think that's good just to start out that way. So it's not quite as much of a reach. So you can keep maybe one hand on your heel. I can never seem to do it with both hands, but keeping one hand on your heel, pushing your hips forward, and then reaching your other hand down towards your heel. Hips are forward, shining and pushing your chest up towards the sky. You've got control in your neck, so your head's not flopping back, but controlled, and you're looking up. That is one way that you can enter camel pose. The other way that you can enter is by starting in that tall kneeling position. You can place your hands on your back like you're putting them in your back pockets. So fingers are down towards the floor. And from here, with the support on your back, you can gently start to push your hips forward and lift your chest, lift your heart towards the sky, as much or as little as you can. If you're here and you're continuing to breathe and that feels good, awesome. You can then maybe reach one arm down and then the other to your heel. And then press your hips forward, press your heart space up towards the sky. As we press our heart up towards the sky, we're creating that space to allow whatever light and love or knowledge we need to come into our heart through these hard times. And when you're ready, you can come on back up and then rest, sitting your butt back down on your heels. Sit here for a moment, breathe. Maybe you feel a swirling energy through your chest and your heart space. If at any time that didn't feel good, I hope you came out of it, because that's totally okay. We're going to do a counter pose because we just stretched the front side of our body really well. We're going to do the embryo version of child's pose. So we're going to keep our knees and ankles and feet together, and we're going to place our hands palm up to the sky, and we're going to come forward and allow our head, forehead, or hairline to rest on the mat. And as you come to embryo pose, let your back and low back release. Maybe you begin to lengthen your breath again. Lengthen your inhales and exhales. Maybe this feels like a safe and calm place to be. If it feels that way, maybe you remember that as you face hard times going forward in your life. And now, when you're ready, I invite you to gently roll back up. Take a breath here. And then begin to roll over. Roll over. We're going to get on our back. All right. Move my little mic out of the way. Maybe. Roll on to your back. And we're going to do a twist and then happy baby. And then we're done. So exciting. Okay. So my preference is to have my arms out in a capital T position. You might like that goalpost position where shoulder and elbow are at 90 degrees, but my preference is capital T. So that's where I'm going to be. We're going to pop our feet up and bring our knees and low legs. We're going to make lots of 90-degree angles. So much geometry with yoga. Who knew? All right, so from here, we're going to inhale and exhale, dropping our knees together slowly and controlled down to the right. Legs are going to be all the way on the ground. We're going to reach our left shoulder back towards the ground and turn our head and gaze over our left arm. As you breathe here, remember to lengthen and deepen each breath. As we're in twists, it encourages blood flow to our internal abdominal organs and can improve digestion, which is cool. So those deep belly breaths help. If this twist doesn't feel quite right for you, that's okay. You can pick a different version. Now on your next inhale, go ahead and bring your knees back up towards center. Sometimes I like a little mini rock side to side, just as a reset before I move to the other side. So let's find those nice 90-degree angles again in our legs. I'm having a hard time talking today, guys. And on your next exhale, lower, slow and controlled. Drop both knees down together to the left. Reach that right shoulder back down towards the ground. Turn your head to the right and gaze over your right arm. Oftentimes I close my eyes in these reclined twisting positions. If that feels good to you, I invite you to do that. Maybe you already were. As you continue to deepen your breath, I invite you to relax and release on your exhales. Now on your next inhale, bring your knees back towards center. We're going to reach our hands up towards our feet and grab on the pinky edge of our feet. Maybe you hook your index finger, your pointer finger around your big toe. That's not my personal favorite for Happy Baby, but you can give it a try, see what you like. You can do lots of different things here to find the stretch that feels best for you. You might pull your feet down and bring your knees closer to the ground on either side of your body. That might, for me, when I do that, that really stretches my adductors, my inner thighs, and it feels pretty good. You might try extending one leg and then the other. Or maybe you've got lots of flexibility and you try to do both at the same time. And if I do that, my hamstrings say, no, don't hurt me. Maybe you rock gently side to side and get a little spinal massage in. Now I invite you to bring your ankles and knees and toes all in a line. Squeeze into a tight little ball. That might even be bringing your chin to your chest to complete that tight little ball. And then release, nice and big, and slowly into our final resting pose of Shavasana. If you need to do a little movement to find your comfortable space, do that. And when you reach that comfortable space, I invite you to turn your thinking brain off and to clear your mind. Return to the natural breathing. If you have the time, I invite you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you can. If you're ending with me, I invite you to gently bring movement back into your body, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. And maybe we take one big long stretch on our mat. And then I invite you to gently roll over to one side and rest your head on your arm. Have your knees tucked slightly. Slowly waking up a little bit more. And now gently push yourself up to sit. And I invite you to thank yourself for taking this time today, for allowing your heart to open and creating space for whatever love or light or knowledge you needed to get through whatever hard time you're facing. I thank you for taking this time to practice with me today. Namaste.